Hello and welcome to my channel, Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and I live in Ayrshire on the west coast of Scotland with my husband and my cat. We are empty nesters and the kids aren't far away and neither are the grandkids either. Today is Tuesday the 26th of March and this is episode number 40. Anything that I talk about in this episode, if there are links available, I will post them in the description box below. It just comes in useful if you want to find a pattern or yarn yourself, doesn't it? Let's just jump straight into the knitting section. And I only have one finished item to share with you today. And it's the zombie unicorn socks. And I do have two of them. Now, I was trying to make this leg as long as possible. And the idea was to use up as much of this zombie unicorn yarn. It's by Snuggly Stars, and I will link to the Etsy shop below. And I was hoping to make the leg as long as possible and then work again on this contrasting colour that I have on here for the heel and the toe. But I just couldn't finish that pink yarn. It just kept going and going and going. And I've still got 20 grams of it left over. And I think I've still got about 7 grams each of the little mini skeins of the darker colour. So it was just a little sock set that just wouldn't give up. It just kept going and going and going. So I'm going to put it in a scrap bin and keep it for later on. But that's those freshly finished. They've still got the stitch markers in them, some of the stitch markers in them. They haven't been blocked yet, but I will get these blocked, and these ones are going to my daughter. But I'm really pleased with these. I do love the yarn. I have used 2.25mm needles for these socks. I used my Scoosh toe-up pattern, and it's a broken rib that's on the instep. It's just knit 6, purl 2, make sure it's centred on the instep, and I've done it all the way around the leg. It's a medium-sized leg as well. But I'll get these properly blocked for her, and then I'll just weave in those couple of ends because I've still got those to sew in. And that's another pair of socks out of my room and finished. So I'm quite pleased about that. So that is the only finished item that I have to share with you today. The other couple of projects are whips. The main whip that I've been working on just now is my Hohi Locatelli lace and fade boxy. And you know, in the last 2 weeks, I haven't done much on that. I finished this section down here, the stocking stitch section. And then I spent a wee bit of time humming and hawing over what I was going to do with the length. Should I block it, or should I just carry on and put another lace repeat and another stocking stitch section on? I've hummed and hawed and overthought it so much that 2 weeks have passed and I've barely touched it. I'm lucky if I've done 10 rows in this bottom section. But I did try to put it on, try it on tubing, because I bought some from a UK yarn dyer. And I just couldn't get it. I slipped it on. You know, you slip it onto your needles and then you're able to slide all your stitches from your needles from your interchangeable needles onto this big long piece of tubing. I just couldn't get my stitches to come over the bump of the try-on tubing because there's a bit of a bump when it joins on. But I don't think it's official barber cord that I've got. So if anybody's out there that's got barber cord, is it quite a neat join when you slip it onto your interchangeable needles? Is it quite a neat finish? Then your stitches slide off easy, because I just couldn't get it off the needles and onto the try-on tubing. So what I've done is I've just put it onto 2 different interchangeable cords so I could try it on. But I did try it on, and I'm definitely going to add a wee bit more length to it. Even if it blocks out, I still want more length on it. I think I'll be happier with that. So that is how my lace and fade boxy is looking just now. And the only other, I'm looking around to see what I've got here because I don't have much to show today. The only other, oh, they're right in front of me. I'm looking in the bag for them and they're not here. The only other project sock-wise that I've been working on is these little teensy tiny socks. I think they should go that way actually. It's little tiny socks, and I've just been using my Scoosh toe-up pattern, with 2.25mm needles. How cute are they? And it's the West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas yarn. So remember I said that I wanted to use up my West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas yarn, use up a different colour each month, which I then decided not to do because I've got so many sock whips. Well, I've got the first 3 colourways done and I feel quite chuffed with that because it's March and I've done the first 3 colourways in tiny, tiny socks. So this first one here, this is the Hollyberry colourway, and that was the very first Christmas yarn that West Yorkshire Spinners released. Then we have this one here, and this is the Candy Cane colourway. And then this one here is Fairy Lights. They are just so cute. Life has just been quite stressful the past couple of weeks. I am struggling a bit with anxiety, and this, I know it's a ridiculous thing to be sitting knitting all the whips that I've got, but I'm enjoying knitting them and it's helping calm me down a wee bit. And seeing socks, teensy tiny socks, it's just working. Okay, so there we go. The next colourway I'm going to use is some of the Robin colourway, so that's this one here. So that'll be the next one. And if I get a mini sock done every month, I'm calling it a win from this yarn this year. I did have a tiny wee bit left over in a cake. These are only weighing in about 5 or 6 grams, between 5 and 6 grams. There's not a lot of yarn there. And they're just so cute. I can't go over how cute they are. But as I say, I've used my Scoosh toe-up pattern. I've reduced it down so the maximum number of stitches I've had is 32. I usually knit 64 stitch socks. It's a medium size and I've just halved everything. So that's what I did, and that's how I got those little teeny tiny socks. I'm going to block them and I'm going to hang them up somewhere like bunting because they just make me happy. And I'm sure once I add to them I'll be even happier. Only other thing I've been knitting on is some swatches. I've been doing lots and lots of swatching over the past 2 weeks. I know I haven't finished my lace and fade boxy, but I've been swatching for a new summer top for myself. And I've also been swatching for a cardigan for my husband. So this is his swatches here. I know it's a wee bit boring, but it's half fisherman's rib, I should say. And it's Rowan wool double knitting that I'm using. Let me show you a proper ball. It's all in here. And this is it here. It's the old style, almost like cakes that they did, proper small balls. I actually bought it in a D-stash on eBay. I bought it at the end of last year. I think I paid about £40 for 14 balls of this, which was quite a good deal. And it's really, really soft. I can't go over how soft it is because I've used this stuff here from Wool Warehouse, and that's the Rowan Pure Wool Superwash DK, 100% wool, and it's got more of a woolly feel to it than this one, which is the older style balls. These are 100% merino wool, so it is slightly different wool, but this is so lovely and soft to work with. That's nice, but it's not as nice as that. So this is what I'm using. Now, I bought this on eBay at the end of last year. I saw someone de-stashing it and I thought, that would be nice for the jumper that my husband wants. And I bought it, and when it came through I was like, oh, that's lovely. Maybe I'll just keep it for myself. But I didn't. I've saved it for him. I told him he couldn't have the jumper, but I couldn't start the jumper until I'd finished the Lace and Fade boxy, and I finished my Daft Days cardigan and my Leith cardigan, so they're all just about done now, so I've started swatching for this. So once I'm actually finished the Lace and Fade boxy, my swatching's done and I can just cast this right on. So what I am going to knit for him is another pattern by the Crea Bear. I know, you'd think there was only one knitting designer out there for garments, wouldn't you? But it's the Lanark sweater, is it? Yeah, the Lanark sweater. But I'm not going to make it as a jumper. It's ribbed all the way down the front and just all the way round. It's half fisherman's rib. but there's a wee zipped collar that comes down to maybe about there. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep working back and forwards rather than in the round, and it'll be a cardigan instead of a jumper. That's what he wants. So that's what I've got to do for him. And if I can get all the swatching done and I'm ready to go as soon as I finish my lace and fade. I think sometimes as well, swatching for your next project, I think it just helps move you on and gets you to finish what you're working on because you're excited to start something new, aren't you? But I did 2 swatches for this because I swatched in the wrong needles the first time. This first swatch that I knitted, I used my Licca needles, and I didn't want to use my Licca needles. I wanted to use my nice new Lantern Moon needles. And I specifically bought these in January to knit this jumper and forgot I had them. So I thought, do you know what, maybe I could just chance it and I could just go with the Licca swatch and just cast these jumper on. But I thought, after thinking about it for about an hour, I thought, no, I'm going to have to re-swatch because what if it is slightly different? They do look the same. They do look, yeah, they're the same size, but maybe they'll block differently. So I am going to block both of them and see how they come out and see if they are still the same size once they've been blocked. But it's half fisherman's rib, and I find it just working in this half fisherman's rib constantly a bit boring. I'll need to find something else that I can work on just to break up the monotony. Because the past 2 cardigans I've knitted for myself, I've had a lot of colour work, and not so much colour work, just stripes in them, a lot of colour. And sometimes I think that geez, you want to keep getting to the next colour. The only bonus is this sweater won't have all those ends to weave in, will it? Because it's only one colour. That will be a massive bonus. Maybe it'll finish it quicker. The only other swatching that I've been doing is for some sock designs that I've got coming up. So on Monday, this is Tuesday the 26th, and next Monday in 6 days' time, my test knit for the black cherry socks is starting, and I finally put out the request on social media. It took me a long time to get that request on social media, and all I can do is apologise. It's anxiety. I'm struggling with a few things just now, and anxiety has crept in, and I didn't even notice it sneaking in. Sneaky wee monkey that it is. And now that I know that's what it is, I'm able to deal with it, if you know what I mean. There's just been a few things happening, and it's just overwhelming, and it just crept up. Sneaked up in me, so it did. And one of the problems I have with social media right now is I feel like I very rarely post on social media unless I want something. And I kept putting it off and going, you can't just post on social media because you want people to test it. You never use social media. It's not a person. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't care that you only post when you need something. So it took me a wee while to get that post up. I finally put it up yesterday. So I've got a few more test knitters and I will be emailing them later on today. Thank you very much, by the way, for offering to test knit. It is very much appreciated. So this one's starting on Monday and it will last 2 weeks. And then a couple of weeks after that, I'll get this final one started. I'm dropping everything today. And this is the Unicorn Tails one. So that is the last sock in this collection. Now, when I started my Coorie collection, I had enough ideas for sock patterns to do 2, maybe 2.5 collections. And it's still in the back of my head that I want to do this second round, the Coorie Collection 2. So I've bought yarn for it and I've been swatching for that. I'm not going to bore you with all the different swatches of the textures and the patterns, but I'll show you the colours that I've got. Oh, I just love them. If you take that one out, I think the purple and the orange and that green, they're quite Halloween-y shades, aren't they? And it is meant to be like, that was the plan I was going for. This was the first, let me see if I can hold these both up together. So that was the first lot of colours for the first collection. And I was going for spring colours. These ones I'm going for more autumnal colours. And I quite like how they all look together. So I've been swatching over the past few weeks for that. just trying to make sure that my ideas and my plans are going to work. And again, it's more West Yorkshire Spinners because I think it's lovely and cosy on your feet. Just at the end of the day for in the house, I do like it as a sock. So I'm not going to bore you with all my swatches. You've got that to look forward to in future episodes. I was really excited to see that yarn when I ordered it online, and I thought, I hope this all goes together, but I haven't been out much. I've been going to the gym and that's it, going to the gym and running any errands that I've got to do, whether it's the post office or just picking up some milk and bread and that kind of stuff. I've really not been very far. So I did order it online. I should maybe venture out more and go to some classes, shouldn't I? I think it would probably help just the whole my mental health and just the situation that I'm in just now. I think it would really help. I did actually book an overlocker class at a class in Dumbarton. No, it's not. It's over in Helensburgh. It's not Dumbarton. It was in Helensburgh, and it got cancelled because there was only 2 people signed up for it. When I booked it, I was quite nervous, thinking, have you done the right thing? Are you sure about this? And then I was quite worried about it. And then it got cancelled because there was only 2 people that had signed up. And I was so disappointed. And I'm like, yeah, you did the right thing booking that class. It's just a shame it's not going ahead. But I'm sure there'll be more. I'll find something else. But I think just getting out and about and mixing with like-minded people really would help me just now. If anything, it'll just push me out my comfort zone. Let's move on to the crochet section. And I've only got one thing to show you here. And it's living in my Wednesday bag, so you can probably guess which yarn I'm using. I am crocheting a shawl, and if you watch a lot of podcasts, a lot of vlogs, you will have seen this pattern before. It is the Just Feel Festive shawl, and I think it's Quirky Monday Crafts. But I am using my Halloween countdown box, which was a Wednesday themed box by Beehive Yarns. Now see what I've got here. I am on the third mini skein, and I'm going to frog it. I'm going to take it back to the start. This side here is the decrease side. You're working it back and forward, and it's a granny stripe, and it's really nice. It's fairly straightforward to do. There's not a lot of thinking involved. But I feel like this edge here, which is the increase edge, is just pulling a wee bit. And I think I might need to add another chain to that side. This side is the decrease side. And I've actually changed what you do in the pattern, because in the pattern it's just a chain stitch up this edge. It's just almost like a chain to get you up to the next row. And I didn't like it. I wanted it to match the other side. So I've actually done a cluster of treble decreasing with treble stitches, so just to make them look, to fill it out a wee bit more. And I quite like that. This side I feel is just a wee bit tighter. It's maybe not, maybe it would block out. Maybe I should block it first. But the other thing is, I feel like it's just a wee bit dense, and I think I'm going to come up a hook size when I restart it. I've actually made it smaller than the pattern suggests as well, because I've only got 13 mini skeins, and this shawl is for it's a 24 mini skein calendar, a 24 mini skein. It's for a 24 mini skein advent calendar. And I've only got 13, so I've made it slightly narrower, and it won't be as long because I've not got as much yarn, but I'm hoping that it's maybe enough just to get it wrapped around your neck, even just the once. Use it as a little scarf rather than a big full wrap that will go right round your body. And if it's not something that I'll use when I finish it, I'll give it to my daughter. So as I say, I just feel it's not as drapey as I would like it to be, but that's because I used the hook size that the pattern recommends, and I am quite a tight crocheter. I didn't do a test swatch first or anything like that, so it is my own fault. And I do know that I have to come up a crochet hook size whenever I crochet. But I think I'll do that. I'll just come up that wee hook size, and I've still to decide whether I'm going to put an extra wee chain at that edge there. Just, I feel like it's pulling a wee bit. But it's going to be nice. I don't think I've got all my yarn in here, but I do have some of the other skeins here. So it goes from the black and it's going to go into the greys, and I think there's a couple of blues, and then it goes into purples. So that's, wow, I'm making such a professional job of showing you this, aren't I? That's the other yarns here. So I think that'll be really nice once it's all crocheted up. And I'm loving working with the yarn. I'm liking the pattern as well. Just a couple of wee tweaks I've made to it, and I think I just need a bigger hook size, and that'll be me. That is all I have to share with you today. So I think what I'm going to do just now is I'm going to go frog this project and see how badly crinkled the yarn is, because I might need to wrap it around a jar of hot water just to get the creases out of the yarn before I recrochet with it. And if I do this now while it's in my hands, maybe I'll not forget about it for another week or two. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody, and I'll see you all again soon. Okay, bye.